Family, in the next 7 minutes, I'm gonna share with you exactly how I got my first wholesale real estate deal off Craigslist for a grand whopping total of 7 G's, and how I went from a welder to a business owner by following a few simple steps. My name is Jose Andres. I am a real estate entrepreneur, own multiple businesses, done 100 deals in my career, and I am excited to be sharing with you today how I got my first deal. You may be in a position where you are just getting started in real estate, or maybe you've done a deal or two, but you're not getting traction. And I know exactly how that feels. I was a welder looking for something better. I knew I would never make 7 figures, 6 figures even, and I knew that I did not want to have a boss. I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted that freedom, right? When I first got in real estate, shout out to my pops, Mark. He found an ad on Craigslist on a community that was teaching workshops of real estate investing. And I was already looking around, looking at different avenues. I've flipped cars. I've flipped other things as a young entrepreneur. And I said, well, why couldn't I flip houses, right? We actually went to a workshop, a seminar on how to buy properties with no money, no credit, taking over mortgages without taking assumption of the debt. And I was the youngest cat in the crowd. I was 24 years old at the time. I was like, whoa, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I could buy properties with no money, no credit for a thing called wholesaling, right? It's a very low entry point to where it goes in. So I jumped in full force. I started learning. I became obsessed with real estate. And maybe that's where you're at right now. You know that it works. You're trying to get your first deal, but you're not quite getting it done. And if you're in California, like where I'm at, it's a very competitive market. You gotta be a top dog out here to be getting stuff done. You gotta know the top dogs, right? And so, if you're just getting started in real estate, that's where I was when I was 24 years old, right? I was studying, I was obsessed. I wanted to learn everything about real estate. I needed to know everything about real estate. I wanted everybody to know who I was and that I was looking to buy properties. And that's what it took. For a full year, I was doing this, talking to people, trying to make offers, looking for properties, driving for dollars, sending out letters. And you know how many deals I got in my first year? None. I got 0 deals in my first year. So family started chirping, doubts and the haters started creeping in. Because nowadays, some people will gas you up and they will encourage you and give you some nice pat on the back, but after some time passes and you're grinding and you're working and it doesn't feel like you're getting anywhere, it doesn't feel like you're making any progress on the surface, the fears, the doubts, and the anxiety starts to creep in. Right? My first year of real estate, I made it an obsession. I was long-term thinking. I didn't care how long it was going to take. I knew that I was going to make it work. I knew I was going to make it work. If you're in that position right now, you're just getting started in real estate. Maybe you've done a deal or two, but you're not finding any traction or any deals at this current market, right? We're in a declining market in California. It's a very interesting way that it's handled, and so you got to get creative. I didn't just learn about real estate. I was learning about subject to, lease options, all these different types of multifamily, and at that point that did make me look at a bunch of different avenues, seller financing, carrying back. And the more I realized that I learned these tools, the more deals that I would be able to take down, that I would be a transaction engineer. Well, a year passes by and didn't get any progress. I really delved into personal development. I was growing my mindset. I was growing my skills. I was growing my habits, and working a full-time job, having personal issues, right? Distractions, relationships, things that are happening that where you just want to focus on your business. And it was not easy that first year. Doubt, fear, and anxiety starts creeping in. And what I remember is I got offered another position, or I was at my job, And I started taking a step back from going as hard as I was going because I was just burning myself out, connecting people, reaching out, posting advertisements, going to these different events, investing all this money into my business. I made tons of offers. I had tons of conversations. I sucked on the phone. I sucked at conversations, didn't know how to talk business. I was explaining and running my mouth and telling stories rather than asking effective questions. And I got punched in the mouth, so to speak, time and time again in business. And when you start going for your dream or for a definite purpose of an outcome you're seeking to create, there's going to be obstacles. There's going to be things that come in to see how bad do you really want it. And that's what I ran into. Maybe that's where you're at right now. And so, still haven't done a deal yet. 24 years old. I'm on Craigslist. Searching. I seen this ad for the seller. Called him up. Didn't really work as a cash transaction. It was just too slim. It was an older gentleman. His kids were living in there, weren't paying rent. He had 2 mortgages and he could not afford it. He was drowning. He was struggling. He was looking for a way out. And if you are truly want to be successful in this business, in the real estate investment field, this is a people's business. This is a relationship business. Solve problems. The house comes with the solution. We get paid to solve the problems. The house is the cherry on top. And so luckily, because I had learned these different strategies, we put together a lease option. It was a minimal down. He was behind on his mortgage slightly. We're going to take care of his mortgage payments, and we were going to flip the property. And he had no other options. He was willing to do that because he could not afford to continue to be making 2 payments. It was just drowning him. All right. This property is in Martinez, California. I'll never forget it. Locked it up. He accepted our offer. Right. I've been in contracts before with properties, but I never closed a deal. So when you're in real estate and a wholesale transaction, just getting the contract is the work is just beginning. It ain't finished, right? Now you got to make sure the repairs checks out. Now you got to make sure that you can find a buyer who can perform. And one thing that I didn't realize that I was doing very well over that course of that year is I was networking. I was building relationships, my book of business. I was making contacts with buyers, with individuals in the industry. And I was making my mark in the local area, even though I hadn't done a deal yet, because I was studying, I was obsessed. People could see that I showed up, right? I exposed myself to the right rooms, to the right people, and structured that deal. And I'll never forget, I found a buyer, and he was I never worked with this guy again because I just don't like the way he did business, right? We agreed to a certain price. And then he switched it up on me at the end. So I never did business with him again after this. But I will never forget, after over a year of grinding and working, going to the title company and picking up a check for $7,000. And I will never forget that moment of what it felt like to get that first deal done, that monkey off your back. Because the first one is always the hardest. The first one is always the hardest. And then we did another deal. Then I did another deal. Fast forward 100 deals since. And we've been rocking. So if you're looking for that first deal, if you're struggling, remember, build relationships. Continue to work on the process. I know you can do it. You got to keep going. You got to be obsessed, though. Got to be obsessed with personal development, with bettering yourself, refining your skills. Make up in numbers what you lack in skill, right? So my name's Jose Andres. This is the Moving and Grooving channel, which simply means be productive and be in the flow. I'm moving and I'm grooving. I'm being productive. I'm in the flow. You're an easyologist. You got this. So I want you guys to continue to focus on getting better. That's what I'm doing. I'm just here to share what I'm doing. I know that the things that we go through are common. Most of us go through similar situations, and if I can help you avoid some of those, give you some of my experiences, That's definitely what I'm here looking to do. Continue to move and groove. Stay in the flow.